Hello, welcome back to Anthony's Check-in. Another day, another dollar. Great, great. I'm here with Myron Gaines. He's at UCLA University, having a debate with a bunch of college students. And as woke as could be, these students are woke. All right, so let's get into it.
When those messages came out originally and the allegations came out originally, it made Johnny Depp look terrible. I mean, he lost a deal with Pirates of the Caribbean, lost a lot of money, lost a lot of support, both financially and in his career, lost roles. And, everyone believed Amber Heard, a.k.a. Amber Turd. And what ended up happening was he took it to trial, and it was one of indicating him. So, and for those that don't know, in California, if I'm not mistaken, it's a one-party state, so it's actually illegal to surreptitiously record someone. But he did it, and it was able to protect himself, because if he didn't have those recordings, who knows where his crew would be now. And to this day, I don't even think he's been paid full back all the way. He just basically wanted to clear his name, but the damage was done. And I think that Johnny Depp case shed light on a very big societal problem we have, where women are able to exploit rich and powerful men for their own gain if they don't like the cards they were dealt after the relationship ends. I suspect that's what happened with Shannon Sharpe. That's what happened with Andrew Tate recently with this girl, right? She hired the same exact lawyer that Shannon Sharpe's accuser did, and she pumped her crypto coin. So it's like becoming egregious now, right? And I also find it funny, because I did a whole breakdown on this. When she revealed the pictures of her being abused, she had symmetrical injuries. So like, what did Andrew smack you on one side and then say, okay, hold still, and then bam, smack her again? Like, no, dude. Like, clearly the girl tried to use the injuries that come from Botox and everything else like that to say that she had been hit. So that's another example of just the ridiculousness of the Me Too era and where we kind of stand. But it's good to see people waking up and finally questioning a lot of these women that are just looking for a come up. But yeah, anyway, besides me just yapping, anyone that wants to come up and challenge one of my views or agrees, disagrees, give your 2 cents, you're more than welcome. I think all of you guys are, somewhat smart. You're here in college, right? Unless you cheated on your SATs. But is it still SATs or ACTs now? It's SAT. Okay. Damn, I'm old. So I know different places take the ACT, but yeah. Oh, look at that. Everybody's scared, man. They were mad before. Oh, this guy's a misogynist. He's a sexist. Yeah, people were all pissed before, though. Now everybody's scared. But the reality is sexism is good, actually. It's actually good, yeah. No, it is. Sexism actually benefits women. It doesn't benefit men whatsoever. Because here's the thing with sexism and equality and egalitarianism that we kind of have right now with our progressive society. So the way it benefits women is because it basically evens the playing field, right? So what ends up happening with sexism is women are able to kind of double dip. They're able to enjoy the chivalry, the gentleman type treatment, and be a lady when it suits them, but they're also able to go ahead and enter the workforce and behave like a man and pursue that. So they're basically able to double dip, and a big part of that is from the sexism, right? Because they're able to kind of get the best of both worlds. So sexism in itself inherently benefits women, because if they actually have to compete with men, they lose. I mean, look at the you literally see them like professional athletes that are females losing to high school boys in competition. So if we had to go ahead and just go off of straight meritocracy, we would have one sports league and women would never be able to participate. Like, that's the reality, right? And I remember when I was in college myself, I was a Division I athlete. I rode at Northeastern, and the women's team got a significant amount of money. Oh, we have a. What's up, man? How are you? I guess I could come into that after.
It's my work.
What's up, bro?
Work. I seen some of your podcasts and stuff like that. I haven't watched the full thing, but I really just want to know, why do you think women deserve less? because it's like a controversial. Obviously, it's gonna catch people's attention.
Sure.
You know, they see it. And,
Sure. When I say women deserve less, it's for a multitude of different reasons, but I'll just focus on, like, let's say dating for now, right? So guys have this, you know, warped ideology that being a gentleman and being super nice and, you know, being caring makes you more attractive to women. But the reality is, you know, attraction and arousal are two different things. And by being a nice guy, what ends up happening a lot of times is you get stuck in the friend zone. And what I tell guys, and I talk about this in my book, guys got to give women less. If you look at the cover, you know, I have money there, relationships, social media, and time. And the reason for that is because we live in a deregulated sexual marketplace. And what that basically means is, assuming two parties are have the age of consent, anyone could hook up. Now, we thought this would be a good idea in the 60s with the explosion of feminism and birth control, etc. But what ended up happening was, when you leave women to their own devices, they date the best guys that they can get. And that problem's been exacerbated as they become more educated and made more money. So it's left a lot of normal guys out of the realm. So what I tell guys is, you need a woman that's going to reciprocate that attention, because we're in a position now where they have all the leverage, and a lot of guys are over here courting and dealing with women that, quite frankly, don't deserve it. So when I say women deserve less, you know, there's other aspects too, but that's what I mean, as in, like, dating. Don't simp on women that already get everything given to them. I hope that answers your question.
yeah, isn't that just like a generalization though? Because I feel like it's case specific with every person. Like when you say that, it's like you matching one archetype of men with another archetype of women, and then you're making that the case for everybody.
Well, I think the world operates on generalities, right? There's a reason why Braille isn't everywhere, because there's not that many blind people, right? So, you know, in general, you know, being a nice guy is going to set you back. Now, are there some girls out there that are, you know, will reward you and give you sex and a blowjob for being a nice guy? Sure. But the reality is, being a nice guy typically always puts you on your back foot. And I think in today's day and age, where women have an enormous amount of leverage in the dating marketplace, guys need to kind of go in there with their eyes wide open so they don't put themselves in a bad situation. So generalizations are typically how the world works. Of course, there's always going to be anomalies. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, I was just doing some cross-checking on my stream here. I did have to set in on private. I had to change it so that I could see it live. All right, it's everything seems to be working fine. Got my views up here. Continue on with Myron explanation of modern women.
But I think in general, men need to operate from a position where they're mitigating risk and not investing too much up front, because we have way more on the line than women do when we get in relationships.
So you say, like, sex, do you think that's the end goal of a relationship? Like, where do you view that?
Well, it's the main agency that women have.
What if you don't give them that agency though? If you have like different priorities generally, like
The man or
yeah,
the woman?
The man.
Okay, what do you mean by that? If you can kind of...
Like, if you don't go into a relationship just expecting to get that out of it, then there's really no leverage there if that's not something you really want out of that person.
Well, a lot of the time that's cope, right? So, like, guys will sit there and they'll be taking a girl on her seventh date. They've been talking for like 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, and they'll sit there and cope, be like, "Oh no, like I'm just building something up," but the reality is she's fucking some other guy, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I always say girls have like they do like the three play the game three way. So they have one guy that they're having sex with. That's the one that gets them all wet. Then they have the other guy who is like the simp, who's like their buddy and friends, and they'll get them to take him here, pick me up, buy me this, buy me that sort of thing. Keep him hanging on. And then they'll have the other guy, and that one that they keep in the closet. That's the one they keep on the burner, so that when any one of these guys fall off, he has one to replace. And that's the roster. They got a farm team. Yeah, they always have a farm team going on, and they're very sneaky, very cunning, because they understand how to play the game. They've been playing this game for ever since they were like little girls, and they've mastered it.
And the reality is that men need to understand that women, right, they sell purity, they sell sugar and spice and everything nice, but what will happen is they'll open themselves up sexually to the men that they respect and are aroused by, and then make the nice guy wait, right? And they're able to kind of double dip doing that. So I think with guys, they got to basically push for sex fairly quickly in a relationship to ensure that they're not getting used.
That's 100% true. Because I've noticed there are guys that, within, I always say with a woman knows within like, 10, 15 seconds of meeting you, whether she's going to have sex with you or not. And that's a fact. And a guy, we meet any girl, you want to have sex with them. That's a default setting for men. But with women, as soon as they meet you, they know whether they're going to have sex with you or not. Now, sometimes if they may not know it, they may not want to, but you can wear them down. And eventually they'll have sex with you. The problem with that is that you don't want to get put into the friend zone. If you get put into the friend zone, that's it. You're kind of like finished. It's very hard to come out of the friend zone. Once you're in that zone, that's it. If you pursue the sexual part of the relationship, they'll just dump you. They'll tell you that you're weird.
I think
because that is their main. I mean, just let's be honest here. Like that is their main commodity, their main agency. Like if women didn't have vaginas, we wouldn't care. No one would talk to them.
I wouldn't say that because that's like.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mr. ACDC here, yes, you probably been like you're probably a soy boy at this particular point. Like you're in there because you're getting some female attention and all that stuff. But when it really comes down to it, you haven't really gotten enough experience yet with these creatures.
Half the population, you just like dehumanizing half the population with that statement.
I mean, well, it's the reality.
No, that's not dehumanizing half the population. He's just stating the facts about them. I mean, they have the agency to do whatever they want. It's just you got to know not to let them take advantage of you. And they will take advantage. Women are ruthless. They're soulless. They're ruthless.
We're put on Earth to procreate, correct? So men, our job is to provide resources. Their job is to extract resources, and it's been this way since the beginning of time. The only reason we're able to have this whole, moral situation is because of modernity and the access to technology and how we progressed. But the reality is, in times of when times are not peaceful, we get closer and closer to our traditional gender roles, right? There is no feminism when the lights are off. There is no feminism with war. There is no feminism when it comes to preserving society and moving on forward. So, the reality is that that's why the genders deal with each other. Men provide resources, women provide access to sex.
Crickets. Yeah, like reboot. What's going on in that brain of yours there? Like just don't know what to say. I think this guy here, I watched it before. I think he had to go take a break and to recalibrate his brain.
I'm gonna come back.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, thank you for.
Yeah, go recalibrate that brain of yours, and talk it over with your girlfriends.
Coming up, though, man. It's great to do that. So shout out to you. And you when you come back up, say your name. Hi.
Hey, so I really think your ideology is interesting. How do I apply it to my lesbian relationships?
Okay.
This is great. She thought she was smart. And Myron just like gave it to her straight up.
What is the goal? Is the goal to get married? Is the goal to have a serious long-term boyfriend that will, like, what's the goal?
It's to have a lesbian relationship.
Oh, well, you guys are useless to society, so.
Again, brain freeze. They don't know what to do with this information. They don't know what to do with it. It's like stunned, like a bear, like a deer in the headlights.
So should I value her less or more?
Well, I mean, you know, you guys can scissor and talk and have a good time, but you guys don't really provide for society.
Yeah, exactly. A female and a female cannot procreate. A male and a male cannot procreate. What value do you add to society? You are useless. And not as a human being, okay, but as to add into society. That's why the whole gay agenda, they're all out to lunch. They have no value to add to society. Actually, I'm on YouTube here, so I gotta be careful. Yeah, well, it's true. You know, they can't procreate. Okay, okay, for those guys, if you guys, people that's watching it in YouTube, okay, understand this, right? If you take 100 gay couples and you put them on an island and you come back 100 years later, what will you find? You give up? Yeah, you'll find bones. They'll be all dead. Take 100 female and you put them on an island and you come back 100 years later, what'd you find? What will you find? Thing. Bones. A bunch of graves, right? Like yeah, that's it. Now, if you take 100 straight male and female and you put them on an island and you come back 100 years later, the island will be overpopulated. Like all around, the surrounding islands will be populated. That's a fact. Like it or not. Like it or not.
Okay, so thank you.
No problem.
Bye. See ya. Don't want to be ya.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not contributing to a nuclear family, you're effectively useless to society, being honest. Also, I don't think lesbianism is real. I think it's just confusion a lot of the times.
I know, it's not even confusion. You know what it is? I think what it is, it's that lesbians, it's like they've been getting access to sex so easily and readily. It's like they're sick of dick. It's like, no, let me just get out of this fucking dick situation here. Let me go on to this other situation because that doesn't excite them anymore. Right? You know, it's like after a while, you know, they just don't get turned on by that. So they figure, hey, you know what? Let's go to a woman. And they'll do that for a while and they'll get bored of that. And that's why breakups in lesbian relationships, it's very high. They always break up because they get bored of each other.
Because the reality is, like, see, because I've interviewed maybe almost 4,000 girls on my show, and girls that say that they're lesbian or bisexual, I always like to ask them, well, if you had to pick one gender for the rest of your life, who are you going to pick? And 9 out of 10 times it's the men. And the reason why is because men have to provide value in a relationship. Women don't a lot of the times. Like with us, we have a multifaceted list of things that we have to bring to the table, whether it's being tall, strong.
And that's exactly right. Like with a lesbian couple, like it's like who does the manly stuff? There's only so much like physical things that the male dominant one of that relationship could do. That's why they always there would always be they have access to their gay buddies, their gay friends, and one of the more masculine person in that in that gay group.
Competent financial resources. Men have to rise to the occasion to be able to get attention from the opposite gender. Women don't. So what ends up happening a lot of the times when there's lesbian or bisexual couples and are dating with women, the bar is low and they don't really provide value to each other. And then when the check comes, they're both looking at each other confused. So, there's a reason why lesbians have some of the highest rates of domestic violence. It just doesn't work.
Hey, I'm back. I got another question.
Sure.
So,
You want to introduce yourself to the people or not?
oh, my name is Caleb. I'm a civil engineer major.
What's up,
freshman.
Caleb? Welcome.
Yeah.
Where are you from, bro? How old are you?
I'm from Fort Mill, South Carolina. I'm 19.
Okay.
Yeah. So you said like going into a relationship or dating with a woman, not expecting sex is like cope. What is?
Yeah,
what is
a lot of guys tell themselves that when they're in the friend zone. Like a guy will sit there for like 3 or 4 years talking to this girl, wanting more. He knows he's stuck in the friend zone, but he just kind of sits there and be like, no, I'm just going to be a good friend. I'm going to sit around. Like, I'm just going to be here.
At that point, it's a matter of self-respect, though. Like, if you know you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, why not walk away? But if you do want a friendship for that person,
I agree.
Because women do have value outside of just sex.
No,
then,
I agree with you on that. But the problem is that most guys can't identify when they're being friend zoned. Is my point.
It's easy to identify though if the relationship not going.
No, it's not, because what the guys do is that they're hanging on to the hope that they're gonna get some one day, and also too, they also when the girl gives them a little bit of crumbs, like a little bit of attention, maybe she'll give them like a feel, a little rub here and there, and then that kind of prolongs it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get me some. Yeah, she's warming up. She likes me. She likes me.
Where you want it to go, then you can walk away.
You got to understand that a lot of guys are socially retarded and not able to understand when a woman isn't that into them. I'm sure every woman in here has been hit on by a guy that made her feel uncomfortable, and he just simply didn't get it. And there's a reason for that. Women. The one compliment I will give women is they're socially superior to men. They're able to pick up on things quicker. They're able to read the room better. They're able to assess danger. And the reason for that is because they're the weaker gender physically, right? So since they can't make up for it with strength and brutality, if a dude's a little off, he's like ticking like this, or he's a weirdo, women pick up on that immediately and like, okay, danger zone, let me get out of here. So that's why a lot of guys are kind of idiotic when it comes to this stuff and they can't take the signs.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
But is it that women deserve less or men need to know more?
Combination of the two. Men need to understand their value, because that's the biggest weapon when it comes to dating and intersexual dynamics. Is a lot of guys don't understand how much value they're bringing to the table versus the woman. A lot of the times, men chronically undervalue themselves while women simultaneously overvalue themselves. If you ask an average girl, hey, what kind of guy do you want? They're going to tell you 6 figures, 6 feet, 6-pack, good looking, good with dogs, asshole that could put me in my place, but at the same time is a nice guy. Like, they're looking for the top 1% guy, but the reality is they're very average. So I think men need to understand that not only do you have to, the burden of performance is on you and you have to be attractive, but you also need to understand that you need to be superior to your girl in every way. Because women don't look for equals despite the fact that they say they do. That's a lie.
You got anything to say?
They look for a superior. They don't look for an equal, ever. So by me giving her less, I'm actually giving her what she wants. Surprisingly.
I wouldn't say that's like giving less, though. And when you say women deserve less, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, they do. And the thing is that you have to make them earn everything, because when guys come in, they start simping immediately. They start giving her money, time, attention, all this stuff. She takes that for granted. She doesn't respect it.
Yeah, his brain is freezing again because he's got these friend zone relationship. I can see it now. And he went to consult his girlfriends, and because they know it's true. They know it's true. So they send him up there, take fire. And he just doesn't want to accept it. His Myron basically spelt it out to him, and he doesn't want to accept it. That's why he's skirmish about in his skin right now.
And if she doesn't respect it, she's not going to respect you.
Okay, let's
and here's the other thing too. Since women have so many options, and this has been exacerbated by social media, by the way. Like, this has always been a problem, but in 2025, with the explosion of social media, it's
become a huge problem. It's gone like it's gone critical mass with women and social media. You know, they have access to guys from anywhere on planet Earth. Anywhere. And guys are always hitting them up from all different countries, offer them all kinds of money. And there's a lot of men out there with a lot of money. And for them, you know, for a guy, $100,000, for a guy with a few $100 million, $100,000 is not a lot of money. And a guy with $1 billion, a few $100,000, or even $100 million is not, to him, it's not a lot of money. You know, that's you know, for them, you know, it just comes and easy come, easy go. Once they they have their fetishes, and they keep on paying for the fetishes, and women are willing to cash that check, rightfully so.
gotten even worse.
I think social media just made it more toxic, but that I'll put that off to the side for a second.
Sure.
Let's do a hypothetical. So let's say a guy, he goes into a date, he already knows what he wants, and so in the scenario that you create, this guy he courts her or whatever, they're dating, he's giving her everything that she wants, and she's giving it up to some other guy on the side or whatever.
Yep.
And so
Happens all the time.
the problem is that she values herself more than this guy.
How does she value herself more than this guy? No, she's getting whatever she wants. Whenever she wants sex, she's getting it. Whenever she wants a pizza, she's getting it. Whatever she wants a ride, she's getting it. She's getting whatever she wants. And the other guy, he's just a Klingon, hanging on to her for some scraps. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the scrap man. Picking up the pieces for these 3 or 4s.
Well, I mean, not really. She's basically using him, right? So another dark secret when it comes to modern dating and women in general, how modern women date, is what they'll do is they'll have men in certain categories. They'll compartmentalize men. So one guy will be saved in her phone as Uber, another guy will be saved as pizza, another guy will be saved as sex, another guy will be saved as simp, another guy will be saved as sugar daddy. And, you know, this is a very dark reality that a lot of guys don't understand. But we've gotten to a point now, thanks to social media and
yes, and all women know about this. They talk about it and they compare. It's like, what are you getting from your simp? What kind of resources are you extracting. There are like they're a bunch of sick puppies, to do that to, and you're talking about human rights, or they may not answer the phone, but let's say they answer the phone and they'll say, oh, Johnny, they may call you after they've done the deed and say, Johnny, yeah, could you come pick me up? Yeah, meet me at the gas station or the convenience store. I have to go buy something. Right? And she walks and then you pick her up and you're like a taxi service. No conscience. Don't care about you, not at all. Your time, your resources, right? And then when she leaves, she may give you a kiss on the cheek with a dick fucking breath that the guy that she just give a head to. You. No. You don't want to be that guy.
Dating apps, etc., where women are able to basically have men in these certain roles where they can benefit them. And what I'm saying is, I don't want you being saved as Uber. That's my thing when I talk to guys.
And so, at that point, why is the lesson not how to have self-respect as a man instead of like attacking women?
Well, here's the thing. In order for you to have self-respect, you must give them less.
That's not how self-respect works, though.
No. You
can.
That's absolutely how self-respect works. You got to work for self-respect. And women, okay, you're talking about. You're talking about professionals here. These are professional extractors. They're professional male extractors. They're extracting resources from the male species. That's their hustle. That's what they do. Okay? And you sit there and you're trying to say, oh no, they're not like that. They're really nice. And yeah, you keep on believing that, Mr. 19-year-old AC/DC wannabe. And actually, do you actually listen to AC/DC? Because if you did, you wouldn't be having this attitude. AC/DC is a kick-ass band.
You can value yourself, but without tearing someone else down.
Well, you're not tearing her down. You're just mitigating risk and not giving her everything up front. You're making her earn it. See, I find it interesting that women will sit there and have these super high standards, right? And when you make them work for your validation and your attention, that's looked at as misogynistic. But when women do it, it's looked at as having high standards. Do you notice that? Double standard? So in other words,
I've never experienced that personally.
Yes, you have. You're just unaware of it. Like, you don't know what you don't know. Because if you knew what you didn't know, you would know. You have experienced it. You're just not aware of it.
well, that's you, man. I mean, you might be better with the girls than other guys, but most men struggle in this situation. Yeah. See? Yeah, you got to remember, man, the average guy is struggling. Like, you might be a smooth talker or whatever. I can see that you're an eloquent young man.
Thank you.
But a lot of guys don't have that skill set. So.
Well, I think a lot of this, like, the dating philosophy in this time is really like spitting game, and it's really technical, but I think a lot of it is just connection. So when you actually look for that in somebody, then you can get rid of everything else.
Yeah,
it doesn't become
No. Women are always looking for the best guy they could find. And you, like, listen, I've been out there for like 60, let's say like a good 40 years out there. No woman ever comes up to me and say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? Let me buy you a drink. You want to take me out tonight? Never happens. And you know what? It won't. And the only place I could get this kind of attention is I have to leave the country and go to a different country where things are a little bit different there. But modern women over here, no. They're not gonna They're not going to do it. But yet, for the Chad guy, he gets it every day. It's like he gets the fan blowing. Oh my God, you know. Yeah.
Here's the thing,
competition
man.
or a thing of leverage or anything.
Here's the thing you got to remember. Like, when it comes to like connection, remember that like 90% of guys can't even get the connection in the first place.
It's just a conversation, though.
No, it's not just a conversation. The conversation comes after. You may think it's a conversation because right now you're hanging around with your little shorties here and there. Okay. You're simping out to them. Okay. No. And they're extracting resources from your ass and you don't even know it. Okay. No, it's the conversation comes after. First, they are gonna, before they could even have a conversation with you, okay, they are going to let you into their social circle or let you get close to them. And the only way they're going to let you get close to them is if they find you sexually arousing. And then then the conversation, you could do the conversation bit.
But you're not going to have the conversation if she doesn't find you attractive up front. So, like, whenever women talk about, like, men that they like or whatever, or, like, what they're looking for, or the personality traits he's supposed to have, they're talking from the frame of they assume attraction. They assume he's already 6 feet tall and he's good looking or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I don't care. I just want a guy that communicates well. But she's not telling you that he's 6'3" and makes, $50K a month.
Yeah.
She's not telling you that part, right? She's saying she wants a good communicator, but the reality is it's with certain types of men.
I think with those women, with that like archetype of women in particular, they're like really shallow. Like me personally, if I see a
Shallow. They're all shallow. Majority of them are shallow. Like I said, why are you fighting so much for them? Because you still want to be on the good side. Because they're watching you. They got their eye on you right now. They're watching you. So you're doing your best not to mess up.
Bro,
like that,
that's a lot of women.
it's not though, because I know
Telling you.
a lot of women who go off of the way a man carries himself or the way he speaks or the things he believes. It's not just how he looks. And part of it is how.
Yeah, okay, and where are they? No.
he
I'm
looks.
not
Like,
saying it's
that's-
just how he looks. It's a complete package. But what I'm saying is that they want them well-rounded in multiple different things. Typically, the more money and status a woman has, or the hotter she is, the pickier she's going to be. And this is even for average women. Average women are looking for an above-average guy 9 out of 10 times. We got 5s looking for 9s. But then if you ask her, what do you rate yourself 1 to 10, she'll say an 11. 11? Like, what the hell? So that's the problem.
A huge problem. And the sooner you realize that, the better you're going to be. Better off you're going to be.
So, have you like met real life examples of these guys who are trying to talk to women and they're not having any success?
A lot. Coached a lot. Literally thousands of them.
So, and what are they doing wrong?
Well, there's a multitude of reasons, right? It could be that they're socially awkward, they don't have their money on point, they're fat, they don't speak well, they stink. Like, there's many failure points for men to take an L with women. And the thing also that I think that's important is women are pickier now than ever before. So, like, you might have everything in place, but she won't like the color of your socks. Oh, I'm good, So girls get turned off very easily now because they have the paradox of choice.
Dang. See, I personally can't speak from these generalizations because I'm speaking from my personal experience.
Of course. And it's anecdotal, so you're going to be limited in what you can, understand or know because you're only 19 years old. And trust me, I had that same mindset when I was 19 too. I had this whole, idealism and
Yeah, exactly. Like you're 19. Like, when did you start? 19. So like 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. Now you got 5 years out there in the social in the social field out there with women, experience with them. 5 years. The women out there, they've been playing this game since they were like, I would say like 8, 9 years old. Even with the little girls with their daddy, they know that when they want something, they just have to give Goo Goo Gaga eyes to their father, and they'll get it. And that's the first simp that they've encountered, was their father is being the first simping on them. Yeah, and it could even start even earlier than that. So they've been at this game. They've got like 10 years on you. So they're way more experienced. After 10 years, they're professionals. They're professionals, simp makers. That's what girls are. Simp makers.
Yeah, women are equal to us and everything else like that. But the reality is they're not. If I'm going to be honest, they suck at most things. Men are better than women in almost every regard.
Crazy. I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that's true. And personally, I don't think my viewpoint is idealistic.
We're literally better than them in everything where we compete. That's why they have to have their own separate leagues.
I think.
Yeah, but nobody shows up at WNBA games.
Facts.
The WNBA is literally subsidized by the NBA. Right? It's like we like champion mediocrity from females just because we.
Even I watch hockey. Yeah, watching hockey, women hockey, it's like so boring. It's like slow. You watch like the playoffs. Watch playoff hockey today. These people, are going around at top speed and banging into each other and just getting back up. Falling down, bouncing off each other. Women don't do that. They don't. I don't even think it's legal for them to hit in women's hockey. And they're always wearing their fucking face shield. They always got that cage on. All women have the cage on. Not in men's hockey. They got a visor. Sometimes you'll see some with a cage if they get a jaw injury or some facial injury, but most of the time, man, these guys are going out there like with their face exposed to rubber. It's really really something to watch. Hockey's great.
We want to be equal, right?
I think we got double standards in gender roles because men and women are good at different things. Not that men are better than this or women suck at this. Like we have different things that we're inclined to.
I mean,
yeah, like what? What are they good at?
She'll teach you guys how to get cats. That's what she'll teach you guys, how to get cats and get triggered. But the biological reality is men are better than women at most things. Yeah, I mean, hey, you can get on the mic. You get on the mic. She wants to tell you guys about her Siamese cats. We got a Karen in the house. Fantastic. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, yeah, men are better than women in almost every realm of competitive endeavor. It's just the reality, right? And this shows that what they're attracted to as well. Does a woman want a guy that's shorter than her?
No.
Dumber than her?
No.
Makes less money than her? No, she's looking for a superior. That's just how it is. It's biology. Now, I know this is like offensive, right, to the left,
And it's true. It's like a man will go and pick up a girl in a drive-through. Happens all the time. If you have to go ask any one of these girls in a drive-through how many times a day they try to get some guy tries to pick them up, it's at least 10, 15, 20 times, right? Some guy's trying to pick him up. Now, if you ask the guy, how many times will women try to pick you up? Never. And it's not happening.
point out these biological realities, but women are not attracted to men that they're equal to. They'll sit there and say that, but how they behave is two different things. So, what's up, man? How are you? What's your name?
Hi, how are you? My name is Trey. It's nice to meet you.
How are you, Trey?
So I heard your views on lesbians a moment ago, and I'm just curious how those views transfer to gay men. Do you believe they don't exist as well? Because you did say that lesbian relationships cannot exist because men are more multifaceted than women. That was your main argument point on lesbians.
Yeah, that goes for the gay men too. Same thing.
Lesbianism prior, and I'm just curious how that carries to.
So, what are my thoughts on gay men?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are kind of useless to society too.
Fair, yeah. I am pretty damn useless.
You know,
but not
like,
because I'm not having kids,
well,
just because I'm crazy. But
yeah,
that's
from
different.
the nuclear family perspective, right? I say that kind of, as a joke, but yeah, I mean, I think the backbone of any thriving society is the nuclear family, and if people aren't contributing to that, I think it's problematic for society. So, gay men and lesbian women don't contribute to that, unfortunately, and I don't think gay men should be able to adopt children either. I think that's crazy. I don't think lesbian women should be able to adopt children.
Oh yeah, I could hear them say, like, Anthony, you don't have any kids? Yeah, you're right, I don't. But hey, it could happen, eh? It could always happen. And I'm willing and able. Whereas a gay guy and a lesbian, it never happened. There's hope for me.
Either. I think kids need to be protected at all costs, and exposing them to sexual degeneracy is a problem, because that's what homosexuality and lesbianism is. I'm a firm believer that gays and lesbians need to go back in the closet. We don't need that stuff outwardly.
Exactly. Put them back in the closet. I tell you, it's like back in the 70s, they'll say, oh yeah, we want to come out of the closet. Now we let them out of the closet. They want to put you in the closet. They want to literally put you in the closet. You hear them? Now they got a whole month to celebrate their Pride Month. It's ridiculous.
That is a point of view that you are entitled to. Have a nice day.
Fair enough. Thank you for coming up.
Later, fudge packer.
Thank you for coming up. Yeah, I guys, I know it's scary, but like I said, I'll chat with you guys. You got questions on my worldviews or disagree, I'd be happy to have a conversation with anyone.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
Hey, name's Joshua Williams.
What's up, Josh? How are you?
Decent. How about you?
Good. I like your shirt.
Appreciate it. Wanted to ask you about your main selling point, women deserve less.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit on the first couple chapters of the Bible, Genesis 1 through 5.
Yeah, if you could go through it quick, though, because we don't want to do a Bible study here, man. We got to keep it moving, but yeah.
Exactly. Like we've heard it all before. And we could start back with Adam and Eve. Like, Adam was the first simp. And Eve was the first 3 or 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
I personally believe that that the Bible is the center point of all life because it is God's divine word, and that the shirt only Jesus. When you focus on Jesus and you have Jesus centered on everything, not necessarily Jesus first, but Jesus centered, everything is going to change. Your whole life is going to change. Your whole ideology is going to change everything. So I want to focus on Jesus' creation, his perfect creation, when he created male and female. When you see all his other creation, he says that he saw that the day and night he saw good. He saw it well. But when he talks about creation, man and female, he says it is very good. He takes it to another level, that humankind, that his creation of man and woman is much different than the rest of his creation, and that they were created in God's image. So being that they're both created in God's image, both man and female, how do you say that women deserve less when they're both created in God's image?
Well, when I say that, I mean as in the man needs to be the leader, right? And the Bible obviously talks about this too, right? It goes, God.
And yes, it does. The Bible says the man is at the head. There's God, man, woman, children. So, like, how is gonna square that into they're both equal? They're not. God said so.
God man than woman. My problem is when I say women deserve less, I mean it's vague on purpose, right? Depending on the context that we're talking about here. But in this regard, when it comes to having a family, being married, etc., it means that the man needs to be.
Yeah, and these people taking what he says really literally, right? But what he means is that, listen, women deserve less. They deserve less attention, and that's one of the biggest thing. Give them less attention. Let them work for your attention. They're just getting it like easily all the time, right? Need to earn it. And they'll appreciate it, easy come, easy go. And that's the way women are. Like they get some of it, they get so much of it that they just kind of like, they'll brush you off. Like they don't care. There's another sim down the road. Like they don't care. So that's what he's saying is that, like, let them work for that, for that attention. And even your resources, it's like, for example, it's like, yeah, you know what? If you're going out, like don't be spending a lot of money on them at first. Okay? And then what you're gonna do is like you're gonna try to get some resources from see what you can get from them. It's very hard to get something from a woman if she doesn't really find you sexually attractive. If she finds you sexually attractive, hey, like she'll give you anything and everything. But if she doesn't, if you're kind of like on the borderline, right? Like you're not getting that
leader,
much,
right? Now, I think the problem is that a lot of guys go into relationships thinking that their woman is equal to them and they can split the check and all this other stuff. I'm a big proponent of the nuclear family. I don't think women should work. I think men should be bearing that.
Yeah, me too. I don't think women should work at all. Like, how does that make any sense? How does that make any sense that you okay, you have a wife, all right, and then what you're gonna do is that you're gonna send it to another guy, so she's gonna go to another man and grow his business and make him wealthy, and then your kids, okay, she's gonna drop your kids off at some stranger's house in a daycare where your kids are not loved, they're being abused, you don't know what's going on there, right? Catching all kinds of diseases, bringing them back home to you, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And they'll tell you, it's like, I want a career. Your career is being my wife. Your career is being a mother to our kids. That's your career. It is the most important career that one could ever have. You could ever have in your lifetime. And if you could tell me another one that's better than that, I'm willing to listen. I'm really willing to listen. Like, think about the process. What a woman does, right? After she's been impregnated, she grows a complete human being. It's like amazing, right? It's like amazing. And then that little person there, and then she nurtures it, takes care of it. Then it starts to walk and crawl and grows up. And next thing you know, you have Elon Musk putting rockets in space and bringing rocket engines back down and landing them, building electric cars, like doing all sorts of amazing things. And so many amazing, every great man was birthed from a woman. It's like, we love them, we like them, we want to take care of them, but they don't appreciate that. No. It's like, no, they want to, women's lib, They want to be the man. It's like they're never, women, they're never, ever happy. They could never be happy. I could prove that. I could even tell you, like, listen, why do you think they have like 50 pairs of shoes? Oh yeah, for different outfits and all that stuff. Yeah, I get that, right? What, 50? Right? Like purses, you know, and the purses, the prices are like extravagant. Like what, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for a friggin' purse? Like, and they'll wear the dresses. It's like they don't stop, man. They don't stop. Like it's never enough. Women are never ever satisfied. They're constantly looking for more. That's why you as a man, you know, it's hard to keep up. Like she'll drive you to the poorhouse. Yeah, if you do not control a woman, they'll take you to the poorhouse. And that's why so many people get divorced. It's like I always tell a story of like you know, so Fred gets up in the morning and he's like, okay, you know, and great day, you know. It's gonna be a great day. And he goes out to the kitchen and he's making his coffee, and then he made himself some toast or something, and you know, sits down on the table, and there's an envelope on it, on the table, and it says like half, 1/2, half. What the fuck is this? He opens up, and it's his beloved wife. Says, yes, honey, I got bad news for you. You know, I'm not feeling it no more. The vibe isn't there anymore. And I want to move on and find myself. And I want half. And oh yeah, it said half and 24, right? So that's like half of everything that you got, and I want it in 24 hours. They're brutal. And they mean business. They mean business. When they get down to that, it's like they don't stop. Don't stop till
that burden. But the problem is that we have this egalitarian mindset where we're telling men to treat their women as equals, and that's just not how it goes. You know, I'm a big proponent. If you have the authority, if you have the responsibility of taking care of her, you should also have the authority over her to tell her what to do.
Okay.
Because let's be honest here, all the Abrahamic religions know that when you leave a woman to their own devices, they fuck up.
Mm-hmm. So now, talking about Abrahamic religions, we're gonna focus on the Old Testament and how they.
Oh, he's still fucking talking. Get him out of here, man.
The covenant with Moses and how that the law, the first 5 books of the Bible say that the man is to be the leader, which is
that's all I'm getting at when I say that.
shown in Romans. Romans says that, and I may be quoting wrong, so forgive me if I am quoting wrong, but the New Testament says that the husband, the man, is supposed to love his family and his wife the same way that Jesus loved the church.
Yes, but see, we're kind of at the finish line right now. Before we get to that point, you need to identify the women that are even worthy of being a wife. And
exactly, Einstein. Not all women are wife material. Not all women are girlfriend material. No. You have to identify them. You have to vet them. That's why they deserve less. They deserve less attention, less resources, okay? Less of your time, until they could prove themselves that they're worthy of more.
And because I like what you're saying here, right? Like, again, I believe in a nuclear family, and I think that as a man, it's your job to protect, provide, and provision. But the problem is that most women simply don't deserve that nowadays, right? A lot of girls are promiscuous, bad habits, don't respect male authority, but they want you to wife them up. And I'm telling guys, don't do that. You got to vet women out in the beginning very hard, because thanks to modernity and feminism, what's happened basically is like all the training wheels that society had to keep things in place and keep things in check are gone. We used to have Christianity. We used to have shame. We used to have the church. We used to have strong-knit communities. But now, that's all out the wayside. So since we have removed these social training wheels, what's ended up happening is we have this deregulated sexual marketplace where a lot of women are just not worthy of being a wife. And I want guys to focus on, like, when you do identify the woman that's worthy of being your wife, then obviously you give her the world. I'm not saying not to give her everything, but she has to earn that. And that's the problem, is that we just think that girls should get things for having a vagina. And I'm here to say, like, no.
And I would say, to not necessarily add on, but just add on to my point, I say with women that may be deemed as not wife material, I personally feel that that's when you get down on your knees, you pray, and you say,
Oh
Jesus,
my God.
help these people. That
Yeah,
we don't,
you can pray for 'em.
it's just the same way that when Jesus died on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, look, you could pray for them, but my thing is, let's be honest here, man. Jesus can't even save a lot of these hoes. What makes you think you're going to do it?
Exactly.
So-
yeah.
That's the reality.
I just feel like I never want to lose hope on humanity, because once you lose hope in humanity, that's when things start
No,
going.
Pray for them, but what I'm saying is you
down.
don't have to invite them.
Exactly. You can pray for them. You don't have to bet them. It's like, hoes are like alcoholics. Like, they once they start, that's just stock and trade. There's a bar downtown that one person that I know, a friend of mine, has this bar down there, and there's a woman that goes to the bar, and she's been going for years. And there's another guy in the bar, and this guy is he's actually like a multi-millionaire, and got diagnosed with cancer. Right? Like these people, the families don't want to talk to him, right? They got lots of money, right? And he likes this woman, bad for in her 50s, mid-50s, right? But she wouldn't hook up with him. No. He's like, no. You know why? She's a professional field. She wants to be able to still play the field. At 55 years old, she still wants to play. It's like, it's in her DNA at this point. Who she is. Yeah. You got to be careful with these women out there. You got to be careful. Very, very careful. Like me, it's like, I don't know, man. I was speaking to Anthony, like, you don't have one. I go, yeah, I don't. No, I don't need one. No, I got a lot of activities that keeps me busy and all that stuff. Yes, if one comes along and somebody comes along that I could work with and who's not gonna like extract all my resources and drive me crazy. Yeah, we workable, work with that. Other than that, I keep it rolling.
That to your house to destroy your household. Pray for her, but like don't let her. Look, one of the worst things a man can do, and this is going to be taboo, but I'm going to say it. One of the worst things you could do is wife up a whore. So, because wifing up promiscuous women will absolutely destroy your life as a man. So my thing is, you could pray for them. Obviously, you wish well upon them, but that doesn't mean you need to invite her into your life where she's in a position where she could utterly destroy you.
Okay.
Especially with the way the family courts are run and the way that child custody works and alimony and everything else like that, like guys have to be very cautious and careful with who they marry. They need to reserve it for the women that are worthy. Because, unfortunately, it's not 1955, it's 2025, and women have changed a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. For the worse.
Yeah. I think that just comes back to once you have your family, once you have the wife that God has set aside for you, that's when you lay down the law and you say, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
I agree. But you got to find the woman that's even worthy of taking that journey with. And what I'm saying is most don't qualify.
And then that's when I feel like you fall into that cycle that you pray. Like you don't necessarily agree with what they're doing. You may not. Your soul, your flesh, you might not. You might not feel like that they deserve prayer. But when you are focused on God and you focus on Jesus, Jesus will lead you to pray for these people. And it may not change, but when you hold out hope and you pray, you change as a person, and people around you see that.
Fair.
And they recognize that you're different.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you.
Oh, he gets
Any
a
other
pod,
takers
hey.
on why women deserve less? Oh, man. Here we go. Hello.
Do I deserve more or less?
Are you a man or a woman?
I'm asking you. Do I deserve more or less?
Well, probably less.
Even now, when my voice is lower than yours.
Even less now.
Yeah.
I knew something was off. Saw that Adam's apple. I was like, oh, here we go. What was that? It's oil in my beard? Color correct. All right. Man, my feelings are hurt. I don't even know what that thing said.
Yeah, I'm not
That
saying
creature.
hello to you, so let's just skip the pleasantries.
Sure.
So why are
Yeah, I
you?
was gonna say, cause someone
Why are
help
you
her?
so hostile?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming up. I appreciate it.
So are your views on women based on data or personal rejection?
Here we go. The whole you're an incel thing. Okay.
Because on a podcast about 2 months ago, didn't you just say you got your first girlfriend and you're like 30?
Wow, she really thinks that's a known. Number one, I've had a girlfriend now for a few years,
I'm
not
so
2 months. And it's an open relationship. I do what I want, and she's closed on her end.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, look at all the people here going crazy. So here's the reality, right? So let me give you guys a biological reality here.
What does this have to do with my question?
Women-
I'm asking if your views come from data or rejection, because someone had to hurt you for the way you feel about women.
Oh, so I have to be hurt to be able to establish and tell the truth.
Well, yes.
That's
Sorta,
interesting.
kinda.
Well, no.
Was it your mom?
No, actually, you know what's funny? It was my mom that warned me about these hoes. Yeah. It was actually my mom.
So you and your mom are birds.
Me and my mom are birds?
Yeah, bird brains.
All right, interesting. Do you actually have an argument, or do you just want to make ad hominems?
No, I'm just asking questions. You have yet to answer my question.
Well, it
Is
sounded more like a
based on-
statement since we're both birds, right?
Well, are your views based on data or personal rejection?
Yeah, they're based on data, obviously experience, anecdotal, talking with almost 4,000 women now at this point. So, and I think every guy here, right, though they might not admit it, would love to have a setup where they have a girlfriend that loves and admires them and respects them, obeys them, and he could go ahead and get other women and she's closed on her end. And this is what I was trying to say. Once you reach a certain level of status and you have your stuff together, you'd be amazed at what women will tolerate when you're that guy. So I want every guy to be at a point where if you want to be monogamous to your woman, you can, but if you also want to have other women, you can. And that's what I think keeps you attractive, because women only get in line when you have other women in line. Now, I know that... What was that?
He said you're not welcome on campus, prick.
Oh, look at this guy. Nice jorts.
Sam.
Nice jorts.
Hey, I have another question. Do you know who invented Wi-Fi? Like the technology for Wi-Fi?
Let me guess. A woman?
Well, yeah. So if it wasn't for a woman, your podcast, you wouldn't have one, and it wouldn't have got
Yeah, no. Yeah, even if a woman didn't invented Wi-Fi, would have still had Wi-Fi. It would have came down the pipeline. Maybe she's like she got to it first, but hey, listen, Wi-Fi isn't all that great. I think they're even saying that Wi-Fi is like causing cancer in people and all that stuff. So again, they fucked up again. Not good.
Gotten demonetized.
Oh, good one. Yeah, so here's the thing. We do direct connect on our pod, so
I don't care.
Wi-Fi is, oh, now it's I don't care. Okay, great.
Yeah, of course.
Hello, sir.
Make sure to hit the gym as well.
Sir. Hey.
Sir. Hey, sir.
Just being honest, man.
Sir.
You're. Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Sir,
hey,
if you're here to
the
have
girls
a
aren't gonna fuck you, man.
I'm trying to have one with you.
Like the girls aren't gonna fuck you, bro. White knighting is not gonna do it.
Okay. Hi. Would you like to have an actual conversation?
Why is this girl so angry? An actual conversation. Why is she so angry? Just like chill out. 304.
This is fucking awesome. All right, what are you gonna say? Go ahead.
All right, here. I'm here to have an actual like debate with you, okay? I'm not
Sure.
here to antagonize you or villainize you. I want to understand you, and I hope maybe you'd want to understand me. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
So what I want to understand is your viewpoint that women deserve less, or that you think men deserve more?
Well, two things can be true, right?
Okay.
So I think guys need to be in a position where they are the dominant and the leader in the relationship.
So I would like to understand why exactly do you think that? Is it what is causing this? Is it like an instinctual thing? Do you think it's based off biology, psychology?
What in
religion,
particular?
belief? Like the idea that the man should be dominant. What is the backing thought process for this?
Well, it's how society has thrived for centuries. You know, the man is the head of the household. He's the leader. He protects and provisions. And this is how we've been able to build up the society we enjoy now. And it's only with modernity and feminism that women have been.
That's biology. That's the way. That's how we got here. That was one of the reasons why your mother and your father got together and made you. Who made who? AC/DC.
Been able to kind of do the things that they do, but at the end of the day, I would argue most women want a traditional man who's going to be a provider, going to be a protector, and adhere to these traditional masculine traits.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about this, sir, if you don't mind. So,
Sure.
what would you say that over time, generally speaking, with how society has come, how culture has come, to where we are at this current point?
Yeah, she's so polite. Sir, excuse me, sir.
Are you content with how the world is today? With society, are you happy with how society has turned out? What exactly, do you have any issues with modern society?
Yeah,
well,
no.
I mean, look, obviously there's pluses and negatives.
Yeah, no, yeah, I have a problem with modern society today. Yeah, there's a lot of good, but there's a lot of wrong, and it's coming from your side of the fence, Miss.
But I do think that modernity has led to the overall degradation of society, and it's because we don't prioritize the family anymore.
So is the issue less that women deserve less, or that we should put more of a focus on traditionalism within the family?
Well, that's kind of the same thing from before. Again, men need to be in a different position now where they need to be able to vet out women properly for them to be their wives. Because the thing that sucks for guys now is that most women want to be married, but they're not necessarily wife material. Everyone wants to get married, but no one wants to be a wife is basically what I mean. So I think, well, you're a lesbian. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I think it is. Guys need to really focus on the family, but before they can even do that, they need to be able to go in with their eyes wide open with how society is and how we're playing the dating game. Because we have more to lose.
Okay, so I understand where you're coming from.
Sure.
I think it makes sense that you would like to have, you know,
Like, do you really understand where he's coming from? Or are you just saying that? Ms.
women would be able to be mothers, would ever be able to be wives. If a man is being a provider, clearly you would want something in return, right? I mean, like,
Yeah, to obey me.
oh, I don't. If you want people to hear you out, I don't really think obey would be the best word to use. I mean, like, obey kind of implies that there's a lack of free will. And
Yeah, you know what? I kind of like her. I would date her. I would definitely date her. She's not the most gorgeous thing, but she's got some good assets that I could see from this vantage point. And she's like a redhead, so like fire.
thought, would you think?
Interesting. So you say there's a lack of free will there, but is there? I mean,
With the term obey, like the connotation that it provides when you say the word obey.
yeah. Because here's the thing. I find it interesting that on my end I'm protecting and providing, and the one thing I ask in return is for her to obey. But that's a problem. See, that's
Well,
that's.
I didn't say it was a
Because here's the
problem.
thing. Here, let's.
Yes, you did. You said it's a problem. It's a problem with you. You don't even like the word. It's triggered you. It's like you've gone off the deep end. Your brain is blowing brain cells. You probably lost about like 50 million at this particular point now. Okay, so yes, it is a problem.
Let's be honest here, right? So this is what I mean when I say modern feminism poisons women. Women want a guy who's going to be a protector and a provider and a good man. But if he asks, hey, I need you to obey me in return, she'll say, I don't like that word. Why do I need to obey you? Well, you need to obey me because I'm the one that's responsible for you. So if I'm responsible for you, that means.
That's right, and that's clarification. Obey. It sounds pretty straightforward. It doesn't have no hidden meaning. Can't get confused. I didn't know what you mean by that, honey.
It means I'm supposed to have authority over you as well.
Well, if you would like to have a conversation without putting words in my mouth, where I said that I had a problem with the term like obeying people, I just said that if you want other people to agree with you, maybe find a different term that would, kind of incline people to agree. Secondly,
Well, that's the problem. People are too soft. That's the truth. We need women to obey us.
says the guy who's here complaining about women.
No, I said women need to obey men. I'm saying the problem is that we have this society where people just don't want to be honest and say what it is.
But I'm being honest and telling you that people don't like the word obey.
Okay. Oh, well.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
People
I
don't
find it
like
interesting, right? So,
Yeah, people in your orbit don't like the word obey. Just your people don't like it. There are lots of other people out there who like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
a lot of people think I just talk smack to women all the time, but I actually talk more smack. Anyone that watches the show, I actually talk more smack to men. I tell them to not be fat, not to be losers, not to be dorks. Like, I bully the guys so that they become better. And men kind of accept this. But when we say we want something in return, women don't want to follow it. So it's like women have one job and they don't even want to do that.
Well, have you considered that maybe women don't want your help?
Well, here's the thing. I'm here to help the guys out because they're the leaders. So
Yeah, we're not here to help women out.
I'm very familiar with the fact that, like, women, like, if they hear a certain word, they get triggered and they can't listen to anything else. But again, that's an inherent.
Yeah, he's not here to help women out. Oh, we're just here. He's just there to bring the message to the men out there, how to navigate themselves through the minefield of a woman's path. That's what he's here for.
Flaw in women because they're so emotional. But the reality is, like, as a woman, if you're in a relationship with a guy and he's doing what he's supposed to do, protect and provide for you, you need to obey him.
So wait, okay, you have a problem with women being overly emotional, yet you want them to be providers to children. That implies that there needs to be some type of emotional nurture there. So is the problem that women...
Yeah, that's natural nurturing. The other kind of emotional madness that you're talking about, yeah, we don't need that stuff. You know, like there's like emotional attitudes that a woman will throw off, it doesn't add any value to the relationship. Yeah, being emotionally involved with your children, that adds value. There's a difference, honey.
Women are too emotional, or that they're not emotional enough?
No, what I'm talking about is in this context where the term obey immediately triggered you.
I'm not triggered.
Okay.
Do I look angry?
No. Well, you didn't
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
term. You're like,
You look totally angry, sir. Yeah, you're very angry.
okay, well, maybe you could use a different word. It's like, no, that's what it is. Obey.
I didn't say that. I was bothered by the word. I was just trying to give you some advice that may.
Yeah, we're not asking you. Yeah, we're not asking for your advice. He's not asking for you for advice. Women do not give good advice, especially in relationship. Like I'm self-employed and I deal with I hate dealing with women in my business. It's like you call them up, you ask them for a part. It's like you get the wrong information all the time. Go figure.
Maybe other people would be more inclined to listen if you didn't come off so authoritative.
Well, I think.
Yeah, again, too, I'm more inclined to listen. Yeah, who wants to hear the message is going to hear the message. Who don't want to hear it is not going to hear it. And obviously, you're not going to hear it. And all the people that in your orbit around there is not going to hear it. So don't hear it. But there are people out there, like there is a group of people who will hear it. And there's a group of people out there that you could plant the seed of growth in their mind, in their brain. And they go, hey, you know what? He does have a point there. Like I'm gonna think about that and expand upon it.
I think that's important where we're at a crazy point right now where we just got to start being honest and not tone police and worry about certain phrases triggering people. The truth hurts a lot.
Yeah, and that's right. Like we got from what is it, 2008 with Obama. Obama was the like the tone police master. From Obama, of 8 years of Obama. And then we had 4 years of Trump. That was great. It was brilliant. I loved every year of it. And then they scammed the election from Trump in 2020. Okay. And it went all to shit. It just went downhill. He let in 20 million illegals, don't know who they are, criminals, rapists, murderers, right? Then all the the brain damaged people out there who are all confused. Well, they have like 50 different genders. They don't know what they got, all kinds of pronouns. They don't know who they are. It's like, yeah, it's madness. You can't. The story about Tower of Babylon or something, where all these people were like building this tower to get to heaven, and then God created language so they all speak all different languages so that they can understand each other. I think that's where we're at. These people here, like they're. And that's what we have to do. Like, we got to get back to the basic. And that's why Trump executive order was so important, that say, hey, in the United States, we only recognize 2 genders. Keep it simple, stupid. Right? There's only 2. It's been that way for millions of years. And these people think, oh, yeah, we got a great idea. Let's change it up because it's not working. Oh, yeah. And again, too, ask yourself this question, Mr. Gay and Bi. Okay? Where did you come from? How did you come into existence? Did you come into existence from your lesbian relationship? Did you come into existence from your gay male relationship? No. You came into existence from a male and female. That's how you came into existence. And now you want to say, hey, I don't want no part of that. Who's delusional? Who's mentally ill? Who's got a problem? Certainly not the people that brought you into this world. It's you. It's all you.
A lot of the times, but this is what we need to do. We've gone so far left that we're going to need a significant overcorrection, and sometimes that means using words that people might find offensive.
Okay. So, all right, I understand what you're saying, that we shouldn't, be so protective, right?
Yeah, and the other thing, too, with
But
men,
you
I've
want to
noticed...
protect women, so you don't want them to be protective.
No, what I'm saying is that with men, right, when I say the term obey, guys just get it. They don't get offended by... this is actually a phenomenon I've noticed only with women. Like, when I tell guys stuff and I speak very direct, they don't care. They just consume the information. Okay, that makes sense, and move on. They're not really too concerned with how it's said or the terms that are used. But with women, a lot of the times, if I don't use certain terms or speak in a certain tone, they get offended and can't take in the information. And I think if women were a bit more receptive to the direct nature of the things I say, they'd be a lot better off because I'm very honest about it.
It sounds like men tend to obey you more than women.
Well, I mean, if they listen to what I say, they'll probably do pretty well in life, yeah.
If you want someone to obey you, why don't you just go with guys?
That's a good one.
I'm just a genuine question. Why do you care so much about women if, like, the men are listening to you just as is? You're trying to do a thing for the men, right?
She's very hostile. The redhead is pretty fiery. Listen, ready? Again, he's not so concerned about women. He's only letting all the men out there know the trickery or the effery that you women lay down. And especially you. I know you've been laying down some trickery along the line. And how many guys do you got? How many bodies do you have? Right? That's why you don't obey. That's why you have a problem. You don't obey nothing. You're the one. You're probably like the strap-on queen. Yeah. So, anyways, I think there's a hockey game on right now, so I'm probably gonna have to end the stream and pick it up later. There is a I'll do part two. I'll do a part two, and I'll just finish up here with little Red Riding Hood. Here, yeah, she's got some really nice assets. I'm impressed.
Do them a favor, help them out. Women aren't asking you for any help.
Yeah, no, I know that. That's why I focus on the guys, because they're not emotionally
Then why
triggered.
are you here talking about women?
Because that is a big obstacle that a lot of guys can't fix. They can't. Basically,
Then why are you trying to fix it?
Because if we don't have women, we don't have the nuclear family.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to fix it. You know, obviously, you don't have a problem with it. Because you're riding the car carousel. You love it. Life's great for you. But for the rest of the male guys out there, no, they're having a rough time. That's why.
Family, and a lot of guys struggle with this. Now, here's the thing. I understand that you might be in a privileged position where dating and getting men to court you isn't that hard, but for average guys, it's not that easy. So
Well,
a lot
I
of
don't
guys
need
need to
anyone
learn this
court
stuff.
me. I'm not looking for that. There's more to my life than worrying about what the other sex does.
Okay, well, you have that privilege since you're a woman and the men come to you. But
They
men
don't
need to
come
figure
to
this
me.
stuff out.
I
Oh,
came
no.
to you to talk to you.
No, me. We're not talking about this particular situation. We're talking about the rest of your life when you're out there, the rest of the time when you're out there, when guys are going and say, hi, how you doing, honey? Yeah, you want to get a coffee or something like that? Like those guys. And those are the ones you go, no, 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 no. Ooh. Coffee with you? No. Yeah. That's what he's talking about. And you know what? You're too dumb. You're too dumb to pick it up. You know what he's talking about.
Again.
Did you come to me? I don't think so.
No, but this is us having a discussion here. What I'm saying is that, like, you're maybe like a 3 or 4. So, like, you're going to have more market pull, right, than a guy that's like a 7 or an 8. You're going to have more options than the average guy. So for you, right, you're getting an abundance of options, whereas guys are not going to get that same level. So, and the other thing, too, with women is women are just simply better at dealing with the opposite gender. Men need to learn this stuff. Guys don't kind of come out understanding female nature. They have to learn this stuff either through someone teaching them or through
I don't think I took a
losses.
crash course on how men work.
I'm sorry?
I didn't take a crash course on.
No, it wasn't a crash course that you took. It was a gradual course that you took. From the time that you were a little girl, little princess, okay? Everybody told you that you're a princess. And daddy was telling you, my little princess, right? And then it's like, when you wanted something, you would just do the crying and then go to daddy, daddy, I want that, oh, please, daddy. Yeah. Daddy will get it for you, right? And then you graduated to, you notice that, when those assets were coming about, you notice that they were getting some action. You were getting more attention. So you monetize that, right? It's a gradual process. Privilege is invisible to those who have it. And it seems like it's invisible to you. You're not even aware of it, of what privilege you got. So yeah, you didn't have to consciously learn it. It was a subconscious effort. If you're born into it, it's like wealth. Okay? It's like a rite of passage. You were the queen, you're royalty. And you have that royal vagina. That's what got you into this group here. And you don't even realize it. That's why you're so stunned. It's like, what? Really? It's that hard out there? Yeah, it's hard.
On how men work, why do men need to take a crash course on women?
Because men, here's the thing, men have to build up the attraction and approach the women. They're the ones that got to make things happen. Women don't. You guys are in a privileged position where the men just come to you.
So you guys are stupid, basically.
Yeah, we're socially awkward. Yeah, and like again too, like she knows that. She knows that like if she if a guy like gets all kind of nervous, coming up to her, because guys, the majority of the time, guys are getting rejected, right? Whereas the majority of the time, women are just like say, yeah, okay, you could come in, yeah, you fuck off, right?
I mean, if that's the conclusion you're going to come to, I guess.
No, that was a question. That wasn't a conclusion. It was a question.
No, it's a learned skill that they need to develop to learn how to properly deal with women. So
why
that
do
they
you
don't
need to learn how to deal with people?
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I think guys avoid women like you, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
Like, why do you need to learn that? Why the fuck are you in the school here? Why are you going to college? Like this girl is dumb. And what stupid classes is she taking? Why do you need to know these things? You see, women, they don't really understand a male existence. They don't know. They could never. And they don't want to know. When you bring it to their attention, when you bring the male existence to their attention, it's like, no, they don't want to know. They don't care. They don't care. They only care about the ones who they wanna like tap cheeks with. That's it. And then here's what they say. It's like all men are fucking pigs. All they want to do is have sex. Well, yeah, because that's all you do with them. Why do you think? Why did you think you hooked up with them? Right? Because you found him sexually attractive. Right? And you're willing to lie down and clap cheeks with them. And now that you've done that, and that's all they wanted, and that's all they see you for, is that, right? And now that you've done that, you're just like, you want more. You want more of a, loving, caring relationship, and you're not going to get that from. No, you're not going to get that from those guys. The guys that you're going to get it from, you said no to along the way. To Mr. Chad.
Stay away from me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You should be in the kitchen somewhere, but it's fine. We'll have this discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah, the reality is, what was that? Yes. Probably can't cook either.
I've insulted you once this entire time.
See, this is precisely
yes,
the problem.
You have.
Combative,
you don't even know
assertive
that
women that don't want to necessarily obey or know when to be quiet when I'm making a point.
Who the fuck are you to tell me to obey you? I'm not your woman. I don't need to obey you. I'm not in a relationship with you. I'm trying to have a conversation.
I don't know. Like, are you actually a woman? Yeah, I'm gonna misgender you. I think you're probably a guy. I think those boobs are fake. I think that's a wig on you there. Yeah, I think you're actually a guy. Very good disguise. Yeah. Yeah, that's very good. Very good disguise, yeah. Because, you know what? A lot of masculine energy coming off of this 3 or 4 here. Listen, you would not want to be in a relationship with her. And the 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes we've been seeing her. You would not want to be in a relationship with her. It's like, don't open the door for me. I could do it myself. When I say 6 o'clock, I meant 6 o'clock. Go make the bed. Go do the laundry. Yeah, the guy must obey you. You give the orders around here. I could just see it now. She's a terrible person. Terrible.
Conversation with you. I don't need to obey you.
Well, you're just kind of just talking over me when I make my point or answer your questions or trying to, instigate some type of reaction, which is cool. I think it's funny. It's interesting. But
well, aren't you instigating a reaction by being here on a campus with people who are more or less going to have different...
Well, I'm just telling the uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to hear.
So it's okay for you to be instigative and combative whenever you want to share your truth, but when someone wants to give another side of the truth, you want them to be quiet and you think that they aren't obeying you.
Yes, because...
No, they want you to be quiet. Like, there's a decorum when you're having a conversation, and it goes both ways. You have to be nice. Together. I know, and then, Myron kind of like throws it out there a little bit more. Tell it more like it is. Well, anyways, you know what? I'm gonna get back to. I'm gonna cut this short now. Okay. I would really like to continue on, but she's finished up right here, and then I'm gonna watch this hockey game. Like the men's sport. Okay, we're hitting and fighting, and all this masculine energy is happening. Why are they doing that? Why are they hitting so hard? Why are they yelling at each other? Yeah, Yeah. Anyways, it's Anthony checking out. Please like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for part 2. and also to hey, send me some donations. Okay. I hope you really enjoy this stream, and I hope it doesn't get taken down because YouTube is yeah, right, okay, out there right now. I usually do it in Rumble, but I decided to do it on YouTube this time, and if I could, I'll probably try to upload it to Rumble. All right, Anthony, checking out.